am the Deputy Director, Public Awareness and Advocacy at NACADA. This World Mental Health theme, it is prioritizing mental health at the workplace. NACADA is not an exception of an employer that really is concerned about the well-being of her staff. And other than the mandate of providing information to the public on alcohol and drug abuse effects, and also connecting Kenyans to facilities that provide treatment and rehabilitation for persons with substance use disorder, NACADA is very key in advocating for persons with substance use disorders, and also advocating for well-being of her staff internally and externally. So matters of mental health are really interrelated with substance abuse, because sometimes when people are not able to manage their life stresses, they resort to substance abuse. Therefore, mental health is a key concern, is a key theme in our mandate as NACADA. Mental health topic is something that is very close to my heart, because I know that the productivity of any workplace depends on the well-being of her employees. Therefore, as a mental health advocate, as a mental health champion, I am very passionate, I am very excited to talk about mental health this month, because without mental health, there is no productivity, there is no achieving of targets at workplaces, there is no healthy coexistence among employees, and therefore mental health is something that we really need to focus on. Most times people confuse mental health with mental illness. Mental health is the absence of mental illnesses. It's the absence of mental disorders. It is the well-being of a person. And when we talk of well-being, we don't just focus on the mental. We focus on the holistic well-being, the holistic person, the financial situation, the psychological, emotional, social, and also biological. Because if I'm not feeling well in my body, mentally I will not be fine. If I'm not relating well with my supervisor or my peers, mentally I will not be fine. So mental health is a subject that really needs to be prioritized at the workplace, because once the employees are mentally okay, the workplace will be a conducive place. People will enjoy going to work, even extending the working hours, because the place is conducive to work. People become productive, people relate better. And remember, when I spend so much time of my week at the workplace. So if the place is conducive, I feel happy, and the happiness gets to my family, gets to other employers, partners, and we get a happier community, a happier country. In today's world, with the modernization, the current modernization and technology, competing needs, the inflation, terminal illnesses, people are struggling. So many people are going through many different challenges, which sometimes we are not allowed to bring to our place. But remember, your personal issues are part of you. So when I come to the workplace and I have other issues, underlying issues from home or from other avenues, I will bring it to the workplace. So why we are focusing on mental health is because we cannot separate an individual with their personal issues. If my family is not stable, if I have an ailing parent, if I have unpaid debts, I will not be okay. And when I bring these issues to the workplace, that's where you realize that sometimes interpersonal relationships at the workplace are very strained. People withdraw from the workplace, or sometimes presentism is displayed, whereby I am at work, but I'm not productive. I am just there physically, but my emotions, my concentration is elsewhere. I'm still focusing on my terminally ill parent, I'm focusing on unpaid debts, and that's why at the workplace we encourage that employers sensitize the management, the supervisors and peers to be able to know and to identify sometimes when someone is struggling with something, and be able to refer them to available interventions and support.
Thank you very much. What are some of the common mental health challenges employees face in the workplace?
There are many challenges that employees face at the workplace, including stress and burnout. Sometimes we have targets, but we don't have supervision or guidance on how to achieve those targets. So if you have a responsibility, a duty, but you don't have somebody to guide you and to show you how to achieve it, and sometimes even to complement the efforts that we put at the workplace, then you realize that those employees will be stressed. Sometimes it could be physical illness. I am sick at the workplace, and maybe my supervisor is not understanding my situation, and they're expecting more and more from a sick person. That is one of the major stressors that affect employees at the workplace. Sometimes it is lack of motivation from the supervisors and the bosses, where somebody has put so much effort into achieving a certain goal, but they are not acknowledged, they are not motivated, they are not appreciated. Every human being needs to be appreciated. Every person needs a compliment, that well done. It is because of your effort, it's because of your contribution that the institution was able to achieve this target. So we need to motivate our staff. We need to say it. Sometimes we don't even to give them a reward, a physical reward, but even a word of thank you. We made it because of your contribution can really change the environment. The other stressors include undefined roles, whereby the roles are conflicting. You find that more than one employee have the same roles without boundaries. So there's that conflict. Who does this, up to where, who takes it from where, who supervises who. Such undefined roles can also be a cause of stress at the workplace. Sometimes it could be the space. If people are in a very squeezed space, many people sharing a small office which is not well sanitized, that can also be a form of stress. For people who work with objects, dangerous objects and chemicals, inhaling that air that is polluted can also be very stressful. Sometimes at the workplace, if there is no clear communication, and people are left to suspect and to guess and to gossip around the corridors, so lack of clear communication is also a cause of communication. And then sometimes where bosses and supervisors lack compassion and empathy, we lack the listening ear and listening with your heart. Sometimes our employees are struggling with personal issues, but we do not give them an avenue where we can listen to them, or even showing that we really care. Sometimes just showing someone that you're concerned about their well-being is something that can really enhance the mental health at the workplace. But when that lacks and people feel like they're just being used, they will do the bare minimum and go home and the salary. But when we show them that we really care, and even check in on them regularly, saying hi to them, and of course encouraging and enhancing a team spirit environment, whereby people check on each other, and without any suspicion, someone just picking their phone and calling their colleagues just to check on how they are doing with their families, it means something. And that's something that really needs to be enhanced at the workplace. It is very easy to identify our employees or our staff when they're struggling with something. I am sure when we hire our staff, we know the potential and we can see the strength that they come in with. But when that energy starts going down, that is an indication that something more is happening. Something that may not be verbalized might be happening to that person. And for any caring supervisor, you should reach out to that employee and find out what is happening. How can I support you more? How can I make you be more productive than you are right now? What equipment or what training would you need to make you be more productive like you were initially? Sometimes noticing that somebody is withdrawn, a person who is an extrovert, someone who is very sociable, withdrawing and keeping to their desk, that is another indication that something is happening to that employee. Someone being there and not even achieving any task in a day, you've given them tasks, they are not achieving and initially they were achieving, that is another symptom of something bigger that is affecting that employee. Somebody who was very calm now suddenly becomes irritable. Even when you just say hi, they ignore you, or they just walk away on you, or they bang the door, they bang the desk. Irritability is another indication that somebody is not well mentally. We believe that information is power. So if employers realize the need of prioritizing the mental health strategies at their workplaces, they will put in strategies like policies. A policy which demonstrates how staff will be supported, and not only mentally. Remember, mental health issues comes with a lot of stigma. So how we can reduce this stigma is by incorporating other aspects of a person into our program so that we can reduce the stigma. For example, if we hold a medical camp, invite a dentist, invite a gynecologist, invite a heart specialist, invite clinicians who can just check on our vitals, our blood pressure, our the very basic things, and then now we bring the aspect of mental health, maybe bring counselors and psychologists and psychiatrists, so that employees can just seek help at that level without being judged. And that's one of the strategies that has really worked, and it makes mental health approach people will receive it because they don't feel like they're exposed to seek for these services. But it is a holistic approach whereby an employee comes and all her aspects or his aspects are checked, including bringing people to talk about financial management, pre-retirement planning, and all that. So having a policy in place at the workplace that really stipulates how an employee who has a mental health issue will be handled. And of course, not forgetting employees who are struggling with substance use, and having an insurance cover for the employees, so that this insurance cover takes care of the mental, takes care of the physical, the biological, and even issues of death, so that an employee knows that in case they lose a relative, that will be taken care of. That's something that really gives energy, gives hope to the employee, and knows that my employer really thinks about my well-being. The other strategy is educating peer educators or peer counselors at the workplace, because people at different levels, like for me, being a deputy director, it will be difficult for me to offer mental health services to my directors because of the protocol matters, but it will be very easy for me to offer the same services to employees who are below me. So having peer educators at all levels, if it's directors, we have a director or two directors who can reach to their fellow directors and support them when they are struggling with other issues. If it's deputy directors, we have one or two who can reach out to their fellow deputy directors, the principal officers, senior officers, and the levels continues, including our drivers and even our cleaners, so that we have a mental health champion in every category, in every cadre, who can support their peers at that level. And also let's highlight on the issue of confidentiality. So the peer educators, the peer counselors need to be people who can maintain confidentiality, not talk about people's issues. Remember, when people open up to you, they disclose to you, they do this based on trust. So do not break that trust, because it is that trust that can also enhances therapeutic environment, enhances healing. It is also important to sensitize management and all staff on matters mental health. We all struggle. Mental health issues do not choose. They don't select. It's just like substance abuse dependence. It does not choose any class. So being a manager, being a lower cadre staff, you are not exempted from struggling with mental health issues. So it is important that workplaces sensitize their employees that we need to come out and just talk about things that we are struggling about, and feel not judged. We as employers need to provide an avenue whereby staff will feel safe to talk about their very personal matters, as much as we have policies and strategies of referring them to relevant interventions. It is important to have environments that are warm, environments that encourage openness, environments that make people feel the sense of belonging and a sense of wanting to share your burden with your peer without feeling judged, without feeling embarrassed that somebody will talk about it. And on matters of substance abuse, it is important to have a policy that really defines how the person who is struggling gets to help, and even after they come from the rehabilitation facilities or medical facilities, the return to work policy needs to be put down so that they can know when they come back who will be their support system at the workplace. And people need to be sensitized, not to talk about it. Don't test those people. Trust that they are healing. Trust their recovery journey and be part of that recovery. So issues of people with substance abuse, a policy stipulated to say that when person is struggling with this is how much the employer is going to support. This will be the responsibility of the staff, and this will be the responsibility of the family. Remember, there is no mental health without our family. When someone is struggling mentally, it becomes a family concern, it becomes a family struggle. So we cannot separate that individual with the workplace and the family. So looking at the holistic person and encompassing that holistic approach would really enhance mental well-being at the workplace. This will also be determined by the kind of environment that we provide at the workplace. Remember, I've just talked about the aspect of trust. If I don't trust my supervisor and I'm struggling with something very personal that is affecting my work productivity, I will not share it, and I'll continue struggling, and my productivity will continue decreasing day in, day out. And you will call me to the HR committee, and still it will not change a lot. But having an environment whereby there's that freeness and that trusting that if I share my issues, they will remain with my supervisor or with my peer, it gives employees such an energy, such hope and confidence with their workplace that even when they are struggling with their personal issues, they will not be abandoned. Somebody really cares. We will provide empathy, we'll provide support as much as possible. And remember, support should not be looked at as just from the financial aspect. Even being there for someone. Imagine a colleague who is grieving, being there, just assuring them that I am here. Sometimes don't even talk, just be there. And even if we are not professionals, we are not psychologists, we are not counselors, we need to provoke and to initiate that aspect of caring. Remember, I spoke about making a call, checking on your colleague, checking on your peer. It doesn't matter whether they're superior or inferior. Creating an environment whereby we care. A workplace that acts like a family and takes care of its members and reaches out just to find out if this person is doing well. And it should not just stop at that. It should be continuous, so that when we meet, even during team building activities, we are free with each other. We can enjoy the activities and allow the kid in us to come out without feeling judged. If there is a dancing competition, we'll be volunteering to dance because we do not feel judged. We feel accepted. We feel valued by our employer. And this will really help employees to trust the system and reach out when they have something that they are struggling with. Remember, every human being has something they are struggling with. If it is not an illness, it is a family member who is struggling with substance abuse. It is that family member who is in the hospital. It is that bill that is not paid. It is even thinking about retirement, feeling like you're not prepared. So that's why we say be kind to people, because everybody is struggling with something every day. And that smile that you give, it gives hope, it gives confidence that it shall be well. And just reaching out to someone, talking to them in a warm way, forgetting our cadres and our classes, and of course initiating respectful relationship, trusting relationships would really make workplaces such a safe place that enhances our mental well-being. Work-life balance is a topic that rarely we talk about, and it is important as employees to know that your well-being should be your priority. It is not your employer's priority to keep you sane, to keep you happy, to keep you at peace. It is your personal responsibility. Remember, we say your happiness is your choice and should be your priority. So we should draw a line between work and life balance, so that you do not be the person that carries their work to at home. And of course, when I'm talking like this, I'm really challenging myself, because I'm that person that will lose their sleep at 1 a.m. and start responding to emails. But I'm really working on it, because there is life even after work. I should take time rest. I should take time meditate. I should take time and do self-evaluation. How am I doing? How productive am I at the workplace? How am I relating with my family? So that I'm not giving so much time to my work and forget my spouse and my children and my extended family and even my pets. For those who keep pets, it is important to draw that line, so that you're not so exhausted when you get home. You cannot do homework with your children. You cannot sit and watch a movie or even a good cartoon in the television, because you're too exhausted. Let us remain some energy for ourselves and for our family. It is important also to know that you balance your work, you prioritize your work, know what you must do, what you should do, and what you could do, so that you don't start your day with the could do's and forget the must do's, and then you start getting pressures from your supervisors. It is important to organize yourself, have a diary, put down things that you must do every day, things that you should do, and things that you could do. Remember also, time to take care of yourself, self-care. If you go for gym, go for gym. Do not carry your work at home and start giving excuses why you're not taking that evening walk because of work. You must balance. Take care of yourself. Remember, if you're well taken care of, you'll be productive at the workplace. So it is important to balance work and life, and take time for holiday. Take your leave. Take that off day. Rest. Take care of your body. Go to the salon. Be well groomed. That is part of mental well-being. Matters of mental health, like we said, the theme of this year is about prioritizing mental health at the workplace. And we've talked about putting down policies, putting down strategies of taking care of our mental health at the workplace. But of importance is that employers should actually prioritize, and talk about it as many times as possible, and also cultivate a culture whereby when people are in a meeting, they check on each other and genuinely spend five minutes checking on your colleague and also telling each other about the challenges that you're going through, and also identifying a colleague or a peer whom you can trust, because it's not everybody that you can open up to. So it is important to identify that colleague that you can trust, that colleague that you can call at any hour of the day, and they will pick your calls and support you and also refer you to a place where you can get help. It is important. I'm not saying that we encourage friendships at the workplace, but I'm saying identify a colleague, a peer that you can entrust your secrets, that you can tell your challenges, work-related challenges, even sometimes family-related challenges. We all need support systems, and it is also important to have a clear employee assistance programs at the workplace that indicates if you're struggling with this financial management, you can get help from this organization. If you're struggling with mental disorders and mental illnesses, substance abuse, these are the providers of this service that the employer has identified and engaged for the sake of employees. So it is important for every employer to allow and to let the employees know that they prioritize their well-being. That is the most precious gift that any employer can give to any employee. Letting them know that you value them, you care about their well-being, is something that can really enhance cohesiveness at the workplace, and also giving people that work safety, feeling you want to stay more at this workplace because it really cares for you. Sometimes it's not even the monetary money that we get, it is about that care, the warmth that we receive from our employers that really gives us the assurance that we are in a safe place, we are cared for, we can disclose, we can talk, we can vent and not feel victimized and not feel like you're being exposed, and be assured that you will get help at the end of the day. Counseling at the workplace is something that should be prioritized, but there's the issue of dual relationship. If I am a counselor as I am, it will be difficult for most of my colleagues to seek help from me because of the dual relationship. These are people we relate with at all levels. They've seen me vulnerable, they've seen me maybe break down when I have my own personal issues, they've seen me down. So sometimes it is difficult to really draw a line between seeking counseling at the workplace versus seeking counseling from an external service provider. And what we are encouraging is that employers need to have a list of counseling firms where they can refer their staff when they are struggling with something, and that will now help draw a line and professional line, so that I'm not the counselor yet I'm your supervisor. It doesn't really work very well, and evidence has shown that external service providers would do a better job. And that does not mean that employees cannot seek for help internally. They always do, and we encourage them to seek help. And when we assess and see the need to refer to the external counselors, we always do that. The main approach to reduce stigma surrounding mental health is sensitizing people. Sensitize them all the time, advocate for mental health, and let people accept that we are all vulnerable. Everybody is vulnerable. If it's not death, it's illness, it's loss of job, it's inflation. There's so much that is happening that affects us. It could be politics, whatever it is, religious matters. We all are vulnerable, and we need to accept that we all need help at one time or the other. Nobody is exempted from vulnerabilities of life. So it is good to sensitize the workforce that when we are struggling, or when one of us is struggling, they need to be supported, either to be referred to for interventions or be supported internally. So sensitization, so that people can accept and accept and let it be part of us. Accept that this is our culture, that we are struggling. We are human beings struggling with different issues, and we all need to seek for help, and we should not feel victimized. We should not feel belittled for looking for help. So sensitization is the most powerful tool, so that people knows, if I'm struggling with this matter, I can get help from this place. If I'm struggling with this matter, I can call the HR office, I can call my CEO, I can call my media supervisor, or I can call my colleague. So sensitization is the main tool of reducing stigma on matters mental health. And also having very well structured support systems at the workplace, so that I know if I am struggling with this, I can call so and so, I can call so and so. And of course, the tool of advocacy, talking about mental health wellness all the time at all levels, would really help people to uptake services that will enhance their mental well-being at the workplace. Yes, I am aware that the Human Resource Department is organizing a forum, a wellness program. Of course, remember we emphasize on the holistic approach. Our HR department is organizing a forum where people can get information on different areas, get testing, physical tests, the BMI, the blood pressure, the blood level, blood sugar, and all that. And of course, psychotherapists who can talk to us, talk to our staff on confidential matters that they cannot talk at the workplace. And that is a good approach, and we really applaud NACADA for really putting the needs and the well-being of her staff as a priority, and this sets a good example to other workplaces, and we encourage that other workplaces can take up this role of enhancing and caring for the well-being of their staff. We have some national toll-free numbers that you can call, like the Kenya Red Cross Society has 1199. This is a toll-free number that you can always call if you have any mental health related issues, and the counselors will help you or refer you to the relevant places where you can get help. NACADA has a toll-free helpline, 1192, that works 24 hours, 365 days in a year, and our counselors can provide avenues or even guide you on how to support someone who is struggling with substance abuse, or even give you the list of the accredited rehabilitation facilities where you can admit your patient or yourself if you're struggling with substance abuse, and also refer you to other relevant authorities that provide or support people on matters mental health.